Well, the current political climate has some people raising concerns of civil unrest during the election cycle, and one of those voices is former Indianapolis Public Safety Director Troy Riggs. We go unfiltered tonight with him about what he's been seeing. Troy, good to see you. How violent do you think things might get as we get closer to November?
Well, there's a propensity for violence. We've seen that with the summer of violence in 2020 with the attack on the Capitol. And then when I wrote a recent article for publication and been working with businesses and community leaders, they all believe that there's going to be violence. In fact, a recent survey said 49% of Americans. And I think it comes from some extremist ideology, some people that feel like that they have some grievances that haven't been answered. And since I've written that, we had just recently the protests regarding Hamas in our nation's capital, and we saw some of the violence there. And unfortunately, I'm advising my clients in the business world and government world to get ready for potential violence. Not that it means it's going to happen, but there is a great propensity for it right now. And what I've been telling them is be prepared, don't be paranoid, but there's some steps that they need to take.
And specifically, Troy, you talk about in your blog a story about possible violence at the DNC convention, right?
Yeah, it's something that the Democrats are really worried about. And some of my friends that are very high up in the Democratic Party have talked about that openly. And since those original conversations and since the article that the Washington Post did recently, some things have happened. The sitting president has said he's not going to run for re-election. You have the vice president that's moving into that role. Some people are upset by that, saying that there wasn't an election that took place. But there's a lot of things going on that just fuels the grievance and the uncertainty and the conspiracy theories. So we pray for a very peaceful convention. But I know that in Chicago and elsewhere, they're preparing for that convention.
Do you think all of those things happening, the attempted assassination and the president saying that he's not going to run for re-election, do you think it made things worse?
I do. I think it just adds fuel to the fire. Those conspiracy theorists out there, those individuals on the far right and far left and the fringes, not where the most of Americans are, this has given them fodder that they will utilize to rally people around. It's something we need to really be careful with, is that pay close attention to when we do have protests, because recently a couple of the protests we've seen have similar people or the same people. And they're in two different states. It's like it's a well-coordinated effort. So this is something that local law enforcement has to be prepared for, federal law enforcement as well, but also businesses and community members.
Troy, number one, it's unbelievable. But secondly, how do we get to this point?
You know, for some reason, we just stopped talking and stopped believing one another, and we started getting angry. I remember there was a time in American history where we could sit down and have a disagreement.
Yes.
And one person would say to the other person, you know what, I disagree with you. I disagree with you 110%. But I'm going to fight for your right to say what you believe. And we need more of that type of discussion as Americans. What has happened is we've made other people evil because of their beliefs, and we have not only accepted it in some cases in our society, we have seen the violence that people think the ends justifies the means.
Right.
And that's something we haven't seen. It's relatively new to the United States, and something that I hope we can be a lot more rational. And when we see someone do something wrong, regardless of if we agree with their underlying political principles, wrong is wrong. If you're tearing something up, if you're endangering life, it is wrong. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. When you cross that threshold, all of us, conservative, liberals, Democrats, Republicans, independents, should unite and say there's a level that we will not accept and tolerate. And I hope we're getting back to that in America, but time will tell.
Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed on that. Troy, I have about a minute left. What's some of the advice that you would give to people at home about maybe putting an end to this?
Just be prepared. If somebody's upset with you, just walk away. Don't get in arguments. As far as when you're traveling, be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of what's going on. If there's going to be a protest in your community, stay away from the protest. Don't get involved in the violence. Don't let your temper overwhelm you. Just remain calm, go to the voting booth, and let's do things like we've always done in America. Let's have a peaceful election. Let's make sure that the candidate that we agree upon, a majority, is the president, and then we'll sit back and they can fight it out again politically, not on the streets 4 years from now as well, and every 2 years in Congress. That's what makes America great. We can have disagreements and move forward peacefully, and we need to get back to that today.
At the ballot box, right, Troy? Good to see you.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, sir. Hey, Troy, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Take care.